Now, Josephus was born around 37 AD, dying around 100 AD, meaning that he was born 4 to 7 years after the death of Jesus, meaning that he would have witnessed early Christianity and possibly its beginnings. Now, Josephus was Jewish. He was a Pharisee and a priest, a military leader, to which he was fighting against the Romans. He would surrender and defect, and he would become a Roman citizen. Now, he, being a historian, wrote many works, including the troubles of what the Jewish people faced by the Romans, the Jewish rebellions, the destruction of the temple, the several different Jewish factions, their beliefs and traditions. Now, he also wrote about Jesus in the Antiquities of the Jews, written around 93 to 94 AD, but this work has been edited by 2nd century Christian scribes, as is very obvious. It does not match Josephus' tone, nor does it match Pharisee beliefs. So let's go read this text and then explain what Josephus really thought about Jesus by looking at his works about the Essenes, the Zealots, the Caesari, and apocalyptic beliefs, as well as Messiah figures. So let us go start this reading. Okay. Now there was about this time Jesus, a wise man, if it be lawful to call him a man, for he was a doer of wonderful works, a teacher of such men as received the truth with pleasure. He drew over to him many of Jews and many of the Gentiles. He was the Christ, and when Pilate, at the suggestion of the principal men among us, had condemned him to the cross, those that loved him at first did not forsake him, for he appeared to them alive again the third day, as the divine prophets had foretold, these and 10,000 other wonderful things concerning him, and the tribe of Christians, so named from him, they are not extinct to this day. Now he would not have called Jesus the Messiah because he was not a Jewish Christian. The Pharisees rejected Jesus as the Messiah, and he was a Pharisee. Now, he would not have stated it is lawful to call him a man, as he would have believed that he was a regular human. The Pharisees believed that the Messiah was born of man and woman, not virgin born or born of a god. If you ask someone their Messiah was a son of God, they would be confused, as to them, Son of God meant a human being with a personal spiritual relationship with God. And a Messiah figure would have a personal spiritual relationship with God and a greater understanding of God compared to other mortal men. So he was chosen by God. Alright, so to get a view of what Josephus would have thought about Jesus, let's go look at the beliefs of the Essenes and the Zealots, and what he actually wrote about them, including Messiah figures and apocalyptic beliefs. Now, in regarding to what Josephus would have thought of Jesus, we should look at his works on the Jewish wars. For instance, his beliefs on, or views on, the Essenes, the Zealots, the Caesari, and Messiah figures and apocalyptic beliefs. Now, regarding the Essenes, he spoke of them mostly in a neutral light, some positive and some negative. Now, he viewed them as a distinct, different group than the Pharisees and Sadducees, and also had subgroups. Now, he praised their spiritual discipline and acts of piety. He frowned upon them, withdrawing from society, rejecting the temple, and viewing it as being corrupt, and rejecting the temple priesthood as corrupt. Now, he also mentioned that they would reinterpret text to tell the future or to enact biblical prophecy into the present age. Now, he also recorded that the Essenes had their own holy works, that they practiced baptism regularly. Some of them, he mentioned that he noted that they practiced celibacy, and he also mentioned that many of them had a strong view or belief of the apocalypse, and he frowned upon this, viewing those who focused on apocalyptic beliefs incited rebellion. Now, he also did not like that they rejected the temple or its priesthood, or that they appointed their own priesthood and priest and their own messiahs. He viewed those who were outside the Pharisee traditions being messiahs as troublemakers, laestates being predators, pirates, rebels, those who incited rebellion. He also viewed them as charlatans, false prophets, people who incited rebellion, and would blame these figures, such as also the Zealots and the Caesari, being insiders to the Jewish rebellions and the destruction of the Jewish temple. Now, not only did Josephus disregard and frown upon Caesari and Zealot messiahs, viewing them as troublemakers, bandits, predators, and inciters of rebellion, he also viewed Essene messiahs and also esoteric mystic messiahs being con men, also troublemakers, as he stated to beware of those with performing signs or wonders. So this would also fit Jesus. He also disregarded a prophet, an unknown prophet, that was an Egyptian prophet, who led thousands to the Mount of Olives and was crushed by the Romans, who was inciting rebellion and preaching the end times. So he viewed those preaching the end times as inciting rebellion. Now, Josephus being of the Pharisee traditions, meaning that he would have disliked Jesus most likely, or had some negatives to say about him. But to state that there's only positive, this very much suggests that these works have been edited when we look at his views on Messiah figures. So thank you for your time, and till the next video, we're going to be discussing something more interesting, some ancient magic. So peace, love, many blessings. Have a fantastic day and a fantastic night. May the highest God bless you. Peace.